Hi everyone, it's Lillian here from Stamper's Niche. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator coming to you from Spruce Grove, Alberta, Canada. And thank you so much for joining in with me today. I don't know about where you live, but right here the sun is shining, and as we got this huge dump of snow on the weekend and the sun is now hitting it, it's really pretty outside. A little chilly, but pretty. Tell me what it's like, the weather's like where you live, and maybe share one thing you did this weekend. One of the things that I did at the end of last week, Thursday night, Friday and Saturday, is I attended virtually Stampin' Up's big online convention, and there were over 10,000 demonstrators from around the world taking part. It was really exciting, and it was a lot of fun. We got to see all kinds of things that are coming in the new upcoming mini catalog in January, and we also got to see some of them in action, and we got to see the whole catalog online, which is not available to anybody else right now, but I'm just saying it's pretty nice. We also got to see the celebration catalog. So lots of exciting things we got to experience, and just something that you might be looking forward to. But right now, let's go down to my desk and see what's happening there. So here we are. First off, on my desk, well, I'm going to get first off, we're going to get centered here. You'll see that I have the paper pumpkin ad here. Today is the last day to sign up for this month's paper pumpkin, and this month's paper pumpkin is really, really neat. It has it has over 15 gingerbread themed card carriers, so gift card holders and envelopes, and they are also easily adapted to cards or gift tags or anything else. So it's seasonal, it's a special edition. I've seen people even take the box that it's going to come in, because it's going to be a little different box, and make a gingerbread house out of the box. So if that's something you're interested in, either contact me or log into Paper Pumpkin if you Google that, and make sure you choose me as your demonstrator. That's going to be a fun kit to get. All right, the other thing is, if you are shopping with me online, this is the current hostess code here. So here you can go here and click on Shop Now and use this hostess code on any orders less than $200. If it's more than $200, well, then you're going to get your own hostess benefits, and so you're not going to worry about that. So I see that Donna is saying that it's snow on the way and it's cold in Kelowna. Oh, well, we already got lots, Donna, so we're just sharing. Ha ha ha. So good day to make soup, perhaps, or something like that. Remember the last time you shared about making soup, everybody was sharing what they were making for supper, and it was a yummy share. All right, I am going to, let me just maybe put this to the side, share with you a project that I'm in love with right now. I received one as a gift a month or two ago from Karen Yeomans, and Karen said that she had got the idea from Rachel Tessman, and Rachel Tessman said that she got the idea from another demonstrator. So this idea has been passed down through several people, and I love how that happens in the Stampin' Up! World, how one idea gets spread from here, there, and everywhere. Donna, you're not sharing what you're making for supper? Oh no, okay. Well, I'm not sharing what I'm making either, because I'm not sure what it is. So what this is, and then I proceeded, sorry, back to what we're making. I'm just showing you the backs right now, to make this in my Stamping Time, my monthly stamp group last month. So they got all the materials to make this, but it's so neat that I contacted Karen and I asked if she was okay if I shared the project with you online. So even though you don't have the materials I have, I'm going to show you so many variations, and it's so easy to do that you will have no problem. So this is what Karen gave me. It looked like, I'll put these to the side, looked like this when she gave it to me, and personalized and everything. And I thought, well, what's this? So I did that, opened it up, and then she's got always thinking of you instead of get well. She's crossed that out, and she's used, of course, the markers and put stay well. And look what this is. It's a mask holder. Isn't that neat? I just love it. So give me a thumbs up or something if you think you would like to know how to make that. I'm going to show you a couple of other samples. So that was Karen's. So I had to go and make one myself. And so here is one right here made with the Feels Like Frost designer paper. And the Ridiculously Awesome is the stamp set I used here. And it's called Let Your Faith Be Bigger Than Your Fear. And when you open it up, you got this, and then again it's holding it. So when you close it, you pull the straps out, give them a twist, and they just go around like that. And then this is what we made in our stamping time. I did use this stamp, but I made a mess, or I tried a different stamp set here. So this one says, to a friend that makes me smile. And then for this one, we used one piece of 6x6 designer paper, and in this case, it was the plaid tidings one. And we cut it, and then we used the two pieces here, and one on the back. And then we had one scrap left over, so we tucked the scrap inside. So you can do all kinds of things with this design. Basically, it's like making a 4x4 card, but there's a little bit of difference in the cutting because you want this here. So let me just show you how I did it. So what you do is you're going to have an 8.5 by 8.5 piece of paper, and you're going to score it at 4 1/4, and then you're going to score and cut, and this will make sense when I do it at 4 1/8 and 4 3/8. And I'm going to explain a little bit about this because for some people they would like this a little bit wider, and I'm going to explain how to do that. When Karen made hers was a little wider, but I thought it was easier for instruction wise to go with these measurements, and they seem to be working just fine. But if somebody is making maybe a cloth one or something and needs a little bit more space in there, I'll explain how to address that. So let me bring in just a piece of paper here. Oh, Karen's on here. Yay, Karen, I'm doing your project, and thank you for that. You like the sentiment. I quite like that one too. So this is 8.5 by 11, so we need 8.5 by 8.5. Just going to pull out the arm here and line it up at 8.5. and cut that off. And we're not going to use that today, but that's a good piece to use for something else. Just going to slide that in just so it's not in the way. So now the first thing that I'm going to do is this score line, and you're going to see why in a minute. So I'm going to do 4 1/4. So 4 1/4, and I'm going to score that really, really well. And for some of you, if you find that doesn't score quite deep enough, you can always bring your bone folder in. So I've got that. Now I'm going to do a 1/4 turn. So that score line is going this way, and it's looking like this in here. And I'm going to line it up at 4 1/8. Now, if you wanted this to be a little bit bigger, you could go a smidge over here to be doing this exact same thing. And then if you're like me and you have trouble with the measurements, what you can do is flip it over and put it in the same spot on the back. And as long as these two are equal, it's okay. But we're going to stick with these measurements. So 4 1/8. So here's 4, and here's 4 1/4, and the 1/8. Let me just see here. The 1/8 is the little line that's a little bit longer. It's exactly halfway between 4 and 4 1/4. So 4 and 1/8. Now, this is what I'm going to do here. I'm going to score down to that line that we made. It doesn't matter if I go past with this. Okay, so I've scored. Now I'm going to bring my cutting blade up. I'm hoping you can see that. And I'm going to cut all the way up to that score line. Now the cutting blade has a little mark here, and that's telling you where the blade is. So I'm going to line that mark up with the score line. Let me just see if I can show it to you. Can you see the mark on there? There's a little indicator. So now I've got it like that. I could have gone a smidge farther, I guess. There we go. All right, then I'm going to put it at 4 3/8. So here's 4 1/4, 4 1/2, 3/8 is right in between. All of you who thought you would never use your fractions from school, it's coming in handy now. And I'm doing the same thing, scoring the top and cutting the bottom, going up to that score line. So now it's going to look like this. I can put my paper trimmer to the side. And what I'm going to do first off is bring these up and fold them. Only because for me, anyway, this is the easiest way. Doesn't matter if you do it in a different order. And I'm making sure the edges line up. And the reason I did that first is I want to cut this off. And it's easier for me anyway to cut it off like that. There we go. Then I'm going to open it up and I'm going to fold on these score lines as well and burnish so that they're nice and sharp, and burnish this, not burn, yeah, burnish, fold and burnish. There we go. So now, if we fold these up, we have our basic holder already made. The rest is just decorating. We need a spot that's going to hold the string in place. So why don't we do that first? I'm going to just grab a circle punch, anything that makes a curve. So you might have a punch that has a different shape. It doesn't have to be a circle. It just is what I'm using right here. Now our punches are designed to go through one layer of cardstock. I'm finding this punch will handle 2, but not more. So the punch that you're using, don't force it. If it's not working through two layers, just do one at a time, and I'll show you how to do that. So I'm going to take just a little bite. I'm not even going halfway. And that does go all over the place. And now I want them in the same place here. So I'm just making sure it's all lined up. I'm bringing in my pencil, tracing that. So no matter how many layers, you could just keep repeating this process and get it all lined up. Then I'm lining the pencil mark up with there and having a little confetti shower. There we go. And now we're set to go. So now it is just decorating. So for some of these, like Karen's and this one here, the paper filled up more. And so then once it was in place, I punched it out again. And I'm sure that's what Karen did here. And Karen's saying how good the paper trimmer is. Yes, it is. What I'm going to do here is a little bit more like this. So I'm going with my circles and just having a panel. So let's go with that. I'm wandering here. I went and read what was being written in the comments, and of course I got sidetracked. So I'm using a 2x4 piece of designer paper from the Artistry Blooms designer paper. Just there are so many bright and vibrant colors in here, and somehow if you're wearing a mask, those vibrant colors just kind of resonate, right? And I cut another piece the same size. I'm going to put it in here. So let's fasten those two pieces down. That doesn't look like it's cut the same. I don't think so. I wonder what I was dreaming about when I cut that. Okay, this one needs to be cut down. There we go. So let's put adhesive on the back. I'm using the multi-purpose adhesive, and you can, this stays sticky for so long. You can put adhesive on a lot of things and go for it. The trick is not to put your project in another adhesive sheet. You can tell that I've likely done that a time or two. I have no idea where I want that, so we'll just leave a slight border around here like that, and do the same on the inside. Should have had that up so I could see it better. There we go. So we're good to go with like that. Now we just need to do the sentiment, and I've brought this in, and I am going to go with this one here. It just is so perfect. It's let your faith be bigger than your fear, and then you got this, and then there's some of these fun things here as well. So I am going to live dangerously and try to stamp on the shape that is already out, and I'll bring in my mat so you can see it a little better. This shape is from the Stitched Shape framelit dies. These are my go-to dies. One of the reasons is you've got ovals, you've got circles, and you've got squares. So if you're just starting out and you want to buy some dies, these I would highly recommend, just because you've got such nice variety. It does make the stitch marks, and it covers a multitude of uses. So anyway, I've got this. I'm going to share with you a little technique here. I'm going to color on here, and I'm going to start with my lightest one. I always start with my lightest so that when the next color comes in, for example, if I had started with this and then came in with this, some of the Mellow Mambo might have come onto my brush, and I don't want that. But I want my light color in the middle, so I'm going to just diagonally swish. I'm using the side of my brush tip and diagonally go through the middle like that, and then I'm going to bring in my Melon Mambo and do the top. And then it doesn't matter if I overlap a little bit, because this is it's a darker ink than the Mango Melody. And then, whoops, and I want to bring in the Coastal Cabana, and I'll do that on this side. Now, our ink dries pretty quickly, so to re-moisten it right now, I'm going to huff on it. Just breathe on it heavily and stamp. And that's how you get all that happy color. I really like that. So now I'm going to put it on the front of the card, and I was playing around with some circle punches. Now, one thing you do have to kind of watch out for is this is going to come across, so you don't necessarily want it to come across your words, or you want it to be very strategic. But so I'm going to keep this down low or high. I think I'll keep it low. And I thought maybe I would just put some other circles behind it to add just some happy color. Yeah. Now, one of the things, when I was talking with Karen, we both decided that you don't want a lot of height or embellishments, and you know how I love my embellishments, because if somebody's slipping this into their purse or something like that, it would just catch and rub off. So we're keeping everything really, really flat, which is a bit of a stretch for me. I love dimensionals. I love some glitter on there, that kind of thing. Yeah, that'll work. That'll do. So did any of you do any crafting on the weekend? And if so, what did you make? Did you make a card, a scrapbook page, a tag? What kind of crafting did you do this weekend? So there's the front. Now for the inside, I cut a piece that's 3 by 3 1/4. And again, this is no magic. I'll tell you my thinking behind it. I wanted to avoid this. If I had gone there, then I could easily punch it out, but I decided I wanted to avoid it. So it's that's why I chose that measurement. I could have made circles or something like that, and I have something to stamp on here. And inside, sure, I think I'll do the same thing I did on the front. So I'm going to start with the Mango Melody first. And, oh, I put this on the top, didn't I? I guess I should be a little bit consistent, but with my brain, sometimes it's hard to remember what I did. And there we go, like this. A little huffing and puffing, like that. Ooh, that's fun. Oh, you know what? There is the star. I meant to get that out. No time like the present. So I'm just going to bring in Coastal Cabana for the star. Just because it's on my desk. It could have been anything. There. Just to finish it off. And we're going to put that inside. I was making the purple one earlier. You see where this fell in the ink pad? But no one's going to know that, right? Do you ever have things fall in the ink pad? How do you fix it? I've been known to get pretty creative fixing some of those boo-boos. So there is, I was just about said there is my card, but that's what it is, isn't it? You've just made a card. Now we're going to bring in the mask and slide it in here, making sure that little ends are sticking out. Fold it up, give the ends a tug, a twist, and a wrap around, and then you've got a little gift to give someone. So if you think this is a good idea, give it a little whirl yourself. It's lots of fun. Give me a thumbs up. Remember, I do love it when you show me some feedback, whether it's comments or thumbs up or subscribing, if you're catching this on YouTube, whatever. But made these projects with my downline as well, now that I remember. And they have been really, really well received. And once again, this is the one Karen made, and she used the letter dies to put names on, so you could personalize them that way. I know that she's made others with just words, so you could do that if you have the letter dies, or you can just look through your stamps. Lots of our stamps suit this really, really well. So go ahead and give that a try and have some fun with it. And thank you so much for being so supportive and for joining in and watching this. Take care, and we will see you another time soon. Bye-bye.